Natural physics is a concept astrophysicist Leroy Larry developed that explains in down-to-earth scenarios how the principles of physics could have come about from observing nature. Each episode begins with a scenario, followed by an example to illustrate the application of these principles in futuristic research at the frontiers of science, such as Leroy's astrophysics doctoral research at CINESPA, Center for Space Research, and then concludes with an exploration of how these same principles could have very well been used by ancient cultures and civilizations. Mathematics is naturally encountered and incorporated as the exciting and fun tool of science that it is. Science is the window into our amazing world of nature, and mathematics is the tool to open that window. Natural physics encompasses current, futuristic, and ancient physics, and ties them together by the principles of physics that are common threads running throughout each.
Greetings. I'm Leroy Larry, and welcome to Natural Physics, live from Costa Rica. Today, we have a guest returning from season 1. I'm not going to give it away yet. First, let me say that I received a lot of great, awesome responses from last week's show. Thank you so very much. After teaching freshman physics and English at the University of Costa Rica for 2 years, the equivalent of 4 semesters, the next step would have been for me to teach upper level physics classes, and hopefully in English. English is the spoken language of science around the globe. All international conferences, conventions, workshops, symposiums are conducted in English. Research papers in astrophysics around the world are written in English. If the original language is not English, then they're translated into English. The presentation I gave in Vienna, Austria, at the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs Committee on the Peaceful Uses of Outer Space, that's a mouthful, right? But the presentation that I gave, the technical presentation I gave as a delegate from Costa Rica in the role of advisor on space education and outreach, was given in English to an international audience. And the Journal of the United Nations that kept track of the proceedings of the meeting was in English. The fact that the upper level classes at the University of Costa Rica were taught in Spanish really does not help the graduate students out much when they need to go out into the world and interact with other graduate students and scientists using English, which is the language of science around the world. At this time, 5 years ago, I presented a perfect solution to the equation of the problem with the thesis. I presented this to the physics department. And what my solution was that I continue to do my astrophysics research at CINESPA, the Center for Space Research, until I acquired enough data to write a thesis, defend it, and publish it. And that thesis would be the foundation for my doctoral research. Perfect solution. It took care of the situation of me not having a thesis with my master's degree. Perfect solution. I still have my master's degree from Tulane University. And then I have a thesis. And remember, when I was at Tulane, I wished I could have done a thesis in astrophysics and or space physics. Well, or space physics. I wouldn't do in both astrophysics and space physics. But I had to get my master's by oral examination because that option was not available to me because nobody on the faculty was doing astrophysics or space physics research. Now, of course, I could have opted to do a thesis in nuclear physics or solid state physics or quantum physics, but my area of interest was space physics and astrophysics. As I said before, so much so that I went over to Houston to Rice University and took supplemental classes to augment the master's degree that I was going to get from Tulane University. Okay, I proposed this solution to the physics department 5 years ago. As with my attempts to have a meeting with the graduate school, do you think I got a response to my solution in all these 5 years? No. Zero. Nothing, honey. And remember, they actually wanted me to go through their master's program in order to enter into the doctorate program. So what that means is they basically wanted me to retake all the courses that I had already taken at Tulane University. And I think I used the phrase ridiculously insane. Can you see the insanity in that? And the fact that I never got a reply to my solution tells me that the problem was not that whether or not I had a thesis with my master's degree. The problem was that I had a master's degree from another university, not from the University of Costa Rica. That's what it tells me. I had done all the coursework required, right? All I needed, hey, all they wanted was a thesis here at UCR. Okay, I was more than willing to do a thesis. I'd still have my master's degree from Tulane, but then I'd get a thesis here. Okay, and that would take care of that. But the fact that they did not even have the courtesy to comment on my solution, that tells me that the thesis was not the problem. The problem is that I had a master's degree from another university, and a very prestigious university. In fact, okay, everybody, this is my bachelor's degree from Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Historically Black university, okay? Okay? This opened the door for me to be a scientist, to my dream of becoming an astrophysicist. That opened the door. And that allowed me to go on to Tulane University in New Orleans, Louisiana, very prestigious university. Okay? And I got my master's degree in physics from Tulane University. Now, everybody, this is what I got from the University of Costa Rica 6 years ago. And remember, when I received it, neither I nor my faculty research advisor realized what it was really saying. It was really saying that it acknowledged that I had a master's degree from Tulane, but it said my master's degree was not as good as the master's degree from the University of Costa Rica. Again, ridiculously insane. Ridiculous insanity. Look at what they gave me, everybody. Oh, first, let me show you the cover. Okay? Got my name printed at the bottom. Yeah, okay, whoop-de-doo. Okay. And here's the certificate. looks like it was written out on, I don't know, a typewriter. I mean, compare this, everybody. Okay, compare this with this. You see what I'm saying? You see the difference in quality, right? Okay. You know what? Remember I said last week that I'd give this deal back in a heartbeat. In fact, you know what I could do? I could take the little piece of paper out of here and rip it apart live, right? I don't want it, but that'd be a little dramatic, okay? I just dropped it on the floor. That's pretty much where it belongs. So again, okay, this week I found out from a close family friend who also is a lawyer that the type of lawyer that I need to address this with the University of Costa Rica is a public lawyer, okay? So I shall do that. I shall provide all the documentation, emails, all the materials I have from 2015 to last week when I received that email from the Graduate School of UCR and my reply. I will provide that to the public lawyer, and I will take this as far as it needs to go until I meet face to face with those old, antiquated UCR administrators that had the insane audacity to say that my master's degree in physics is not equal to a master's degree from the University of Costa Rica. Okay, so that's what I'll be doing. All right. When I gave my presentation at the International Astronautical Federation in Washington, D.C. 2 years ago, and once again, that was in English to an international audience. I mean, English is the language of science around the world. After my presentation, I was approached by a group of attendees that expressed an interest in using my space education and outreach methodology for their endeavor, which was to emphasize the importance of arts in STEAM. STEAM is science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. It's STEM with arts included. And the goal of emphasizing arts was to encourage more students, especially female students, to get interested, to pursue careers in space science and technology. And my thinking was that, yeah, let's do that. And because Costa Rica is so committed to the conservation and preservation of its diverse natural resources, and in its role as a global leader in sustainable development, I thought Costa Rica would be the perfect place to have this program. Perfect place. Okay? So last week, I showed you the flyer of the program and the program at a glance, but I want to read from it just so you know how ambitious this program is going to be. And unfortunately, we weren't able to have it in May of last year, but we still may get the chance. And the reason why I'm doing this is because this is how I met my colleague, Bruce Callow. After I returned here from DC and started organizing things and sending out emails, I get a contact from Bruce Callow, who I hadn't met. And as they say, the rest is history. So what I would like to do, we are on share screen, I think. So I'm going to go here and Ray, please let me know if you cannot. All right. So the first thing I want to do is open up the flyer, and you remember the municipality of Escazú, they requested that in addition to English, that we also have it in Spanish as well. Because remember, now the groups of representatives that were going to be attending this program was going to be CEOs. Whoa, I just heard something in the background, some kind of noise. CEOs, government officials, decision makers, stakeholders, gender equality, teachers, students, and the general public. We were going to have a wide spectrum of attendees to come and listen to presenters around the world, a lot of whom were going to have the option of giving their presentations remotely. Okay. And now this was before COVID hit. Okay. This was just people who wanted to participate from around the world. This was giving them the option to attend, to give their presentation. So this is what we came up with: STEAM powered sustainable development goals. Demonstrating sciences, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics as vehicles to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. There's 17 sustainable goals altogether. This program was going to address 5 of those: quality education, gender equality, climate action, life below water, and life on land. And as you see from the flyer, it was going to be held for 5 days last year in May. Okay? And 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. with a 2-hour lunch break. Okay? So, and I had acquired our venue. And I had asked a few other places, right? But the Municipal Civic Center of Escazú agreed, as long as I guaranteed to them that everything, all the documentation would not only be in English, but it would be in Spanish. And because we anticipated a lot of teachers and students from rural areas coming into Escazú to attend this who did not speak English, I also had to guarantee the municipality of Escazú that I would have an interpreter available to interpret from English to Spanish. Okay, so now what I would like to do is I'm gonna read from our program at a glance, and you're gonna see how detailed this was. Okay, all right. So day 1 was gonna be devoted to quality education. Day 2 to gender equality. Day 3 to the A in STEAM, the arts. Day 4, climate action, life below water. Topics of the presentations to be given was going to be the current status of the arts at the primary and secondary, role of the arts at the primary and secondary levels in achieving quality education in the classroom. Okay? Second day, Tuesday, May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo. Remember, we kicked off season 1 of natural physics on Cinco de Mayo this year? Okay. Gender equality, including the challenges of exclusion due to gender, bullying, and race. And by the way, everybody, I consider what occurred to me with my application to the doctorate program as being exclusion, being excluded, okay, being discriminated against. And I'm not even including the possibility that there was discrimination due to racially and nationality, okay? Oh, me and my public lawyer, we are going to go down this road completely. Okay, afternoon session, the role of the arts at the primary and secondary levels in achieving gender equality in the classroom and beyond. Okay, the third day. Now, at this venue, there's a farmer's market that occurs every Wednesday, and I'm actually going to show you photos from that in a minute. But you have music. We were going to have music, poetry, literature, storytelling, arts and crafts, folk dancing, and farmer's market all day, Wednesday, May the 6th. Okay, the next day, Thursday, The topic in the morning session from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. was going to be Costa Rica as a global leader in sustainable development. And then after the 2-hour lunch in the afternoon session from 3 to 6, the topics of all the presentations given were going to be using Earth and space sciences to address climate action, life below water, and life on land in Costa Rica. Okay. And then the final day, Friday, morning session was going to be the arts as a conduit for students, male and female, to develop skills and techniques to use in Earth and space sciences. And then the afternoon session, which was going to close out our week-long program, professionals trained to share tools and resources to produce effective, equitable, and accessible science education. And again, everybody, we had representatives from all those groups I mentioned before that had indicated that they would be more than happy to give presentations, and the audience was going to be a wide spectrum of all those 8 groups that I mentioned. It was going to be awesome. It was good. It was ambitious, but it was going to be a national event for Costa Rica, a regional event for Central and South America, and an international event for our global community. So hopefully we'll still be able to do this. Okay, now I'm about to bring Bruce on before, and again, we weren't able to do it. Oh, okay, so we weren't able to do it, but what Tears and I did that Wednesday of the week that we would have been given our program when the farmers market was going on, we went out to the venue. And let me just show you, it has its own webpage, Municipal Civic Center of Escazú, okay? Huge gymnasium. And I actually took pictures on Wednesday, May the 8th, and because we went out there. So let me just show you these pictures real quick. Ray, again, please let me know if you cannot. Let me know if you can see this okay, Ray. Okay. I just enjoy so much hearing those applause. Okay. So, okay. Huge facility. It actually was the location of one of the largest high schools in Costa Rica that relocated to another location. So these grounds have now become the Central Civic Center. Okay, there's the farmers market, everybody. Huge gymnasium, right? You can see, so basically if things would have happened the way we wanted, this farmers market would have been going on during that week on Wednesday, and all the participants would have been able to take advantage of this farmers market, right? Right there on the premises. Beautiful, beautiful grounds, right? Just beautiful. Okay, there I am showing the 2 announcements in English and Spanish, right? You see, I got my my bandana mask on, right? Okay, I just go through these real quick. Okay, now here I'm smiling, and then here I am because we couldn't have our program. Okay, but again, this was the exact week of when we would have had our program, and this is the Wednesday that we would have had our program. Okay, and there's some other pictures. All right, so now, and then the last thing I want to do before I bring my colleague Bruce on is, even though we didn't have the opportunity to, this is what I want to do. So I'm going to go back to the business card, everybody. Okay, let me click that up. Again, here's my business card. Now, if you type in LeroyLarry.com or this, you scan this QR code, it will bring you to my electronic business card. And actually, Ray and myself had a very cool idea, everybody. Okay, here's the QR code on its own. You know what you could do? You could print this out and pass it out to your friends or send it email, right? Okay, and if you scan on this QR code, it's so, obviously I've never had a QR code before in my life. It's just so cool. Okay, so if you scan on this, or you type in LeroyLarry.com, up comes my business card. And there's a reason why I'm doing this right now. I want to show Leroy. That's the only time I pronounce my name Leroy. It's Leroy, but for the business card, LeroyLarry.com. Okay. Now it will come up. And I mentioned last week that Bruce and Isaac Akin Alami Goke had, and myself, we had co-presented at the Space Exploration Educators Conference remotely, virtually. So what I meant to mention was that if you scroll down to the second article that Bruce did with me, pulling back the curtain to reach the stars from the hood to Jupiter. Okay, if you click on this, and like the other two, it'll take you to the actual article. But check this out, everybody. If you scroll down into the article, you can actually bring up the presentation that the three of us did for our virtual presentation. And there it is, right? Click on it, and you can watch the whole deal that the three of us did. Okay, without further ado, I am going to release my share screen, and Bruce, my colleague, it's all yours, everybody. Please welcome. And you know how I said how outreach has its spinoffs, like having the fortunate opportunity to meet individuals like Isaac Akin Alamagoke in Nigeria. Well, the same goes with meeting Bruce Callow and his wife, Anna Louisa. Okay, so with that, Bruce, it's all yours. Okay, I'm going to hang up my...
Roy, thank you much for having me back. And yeah, I indeed have faith that your situation at the University of Costa Rica will be resolved properly. And given the amount of attention and respect that is due a person of your experience, and so yeah, I listened very intently, and I've been following your case there. Just wanted to say that, Leroy.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you. That means an unbelievably immense amount to me. It really does. Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Okay.
No, it's world is complicated enough, and there are enough obstacles and things we cannot control, that and something that would seemingly be an easy solution to enable someone of your ability and commitment to continue the work in Costa Rica. Yeah, that cannot stand like that. And things often take time in Costa Rica, but they sometimes often work out quite well. So I admire your patience in not giving up and take it to its final stage, whether that will some sort of something to do with the Constitutional Court. In Costa Rica, the final say usually is called the Sala Cuarta, and that's the final stage. And especially if someone's not just academics, in some way human rights have been infringed upon, and if there's any inkling of that at all in this case, that needs to be discussed. And if there hasn't been, great. Well, like you say, come out from the shadows and face this, and that's what we're saying to the administrators, whoever they are, who are hiding behind this decision. So it would be unfortunate to take it to a higher constitutional level, but that's often the way things get done in this country.
Yeah, Bruce, I don't enjoy legal stuff of any matter. I really don't. And you hit it on the nail when you said that what I want is to make these, whoever they are, meet with me and tell me face to face. That's what I want. And I just wonder how many other students has this happened to, right? And I'm so thankful to Ray to have this podcast that I can air this out. I can put this out there and let the world know what this university is doing. How you have these administrators cowering, cowards behind their desks. And just because of their position, they probably don't know astrophysics from biology, from construction work. They probably don't have a clue what astrophysics involves. And for them to make a judgment on my background without even having the decency and the courtesy to tell me that face to face, I'm not accepting that. And I hope this legal issue doesn't amount to a whole lot of money, but if it does, so be it. Because as I said, what happened last year in the United States, it made me revisit what happened to me 5 years ago. And the more I thought about it, the more disgusted I became at what happened to me. And the more I became determined to not let it continue, not let it just stay that way, to force an end to it, to force these cowards to come out and face me. So you see, I'm getting worked up again. And last week I said I wasn't going to get worked up, but the more I talk about it, the more I think about it. And what you said, Bruce, oh, thank you so much. And yeah, I'm taking this all the way to the end. And having comments from people such as yourself, Bruce, who, okay, where do I write the check, or where do I send the check for your gracious words, Bruce? The outreach activities that you and your wife do around Costa Rica, oh, huge, so awesome, so internationally important to the world, and I can't wait for you to start telling and everybody. I don't know how much Bruce is going to be able to tell you, but it's going to be the tip of the iceberg of what he and his wife have been doing here in Costa Rica. Believe me. And so, please, Bruce, let's hear that.
Well, thank you, Leroy. And we've been a part of it jointly. It was almost a year ago. We were virtually in Houston, and I remember the fan mail that you got after our president. You actually got mail, like literally people licking and sending to you about how what you did. So I felt honored to have been part of that. I was your backup band, your support act, and that was a very proud support act, I must say. And you've been part of our web conferences this year, and I think we've got a short video. Is there sort of summarizing some of those conferences that we did throughout the year? We were able to get basically, I don't know, COVID, because we got like A-list, basically A-list or maybe post-A-list people to speak to us on Fridays, with the Costa Rica Institute of Technology, basically letting us use their web conferencing facilities. And what better way to spend Friday at 6 p.m.? Gee, like we have anything else to do. We had to be creative. And our outreach after the books were published was to get the hell out there, to get out to communities, to get to the kids, get to places that weren't getting gotten to. And now we're starting to do that again. Just like a couple of weeks ago, we started back with live workshops, and we've got an important one, pretty interesting one in December. But is there a video there that sort of summarizes those conferences? I think we talked a little bit about that, did we? See you. Yeah, see you on. What a nice year, and
Now, Bruce,
through the generosity of a
I
lot of
noticed.
people, and
I tell you what, Bruce. Some of the posters were shown in the video, but Ray, if you would, could you play the webinars that it'll show everybody? It'll show you all the posters of the presentations, and Bruce and I will just talk to him as it's just 2 minutes. So Ray, if you would, okay, Nana Visitor, hey, from Star Trek, what is that? Deep Space Nine, Bruce?
yeah, she was the first officer, a kick-ass rebel fighter turned Federation ally. Here's the person in charge of the Kepler mission who wrote the book on exoplanets. This guy wrote the
Wow.
book, Vincent de Fate, on space art.
Oh, comic book. Yeah, that was
over the last 50
yeah.
years. This guy didn't write the book. He read the book very well about Star Trek and created the most fantastic fan Star Trek series ever created. This guy tried to get people to the moon like 15 years ago, but due to certain politics, had to wait until next January. Trakate, Space Launch System. This young lady has been to Antarctica a few times, collecting space rocks so we can understand our place in the solar system. Mark Raymond, head of the Dawn mission, and amongst many other things, a really good friend of our program, just generally a fun guy. This is Judith Cole, Love Cohen, passed away in 2016. Her son did. She wrote books on STEM and motivating young kids, and wonderful, wonderful legacy. This gentleman, Dr. Jeff Hopman, 5-time astronaut in charge of the MOXIE mission, creating oxygen on Mars. And just for fun, where's Guyana? Well, French Guyana, but somebody had to find out. So we found out, and she spoke to us with an intermittent internet connection. Ben, he created this amazing interactive site about the Apollo missions, restoring the audio and video for humanity. And Brandon, he did many things by tuning in with us and teaching us about a day in the life of a JPL teacher, and how he's just going out there in the community and going beyond the ivory towers and bringing it to the people in LA. Just like you. I remember the first story that just really, like, this is drilled into my memory, when you showed up in Pasadena, sleeping on the sofa in school while you waited to get a home. And the homeless teacher teaching science. I love that stuff. And then it just went on from your JPL. So, and also another nice connection was Mark Raymond. Obviously, you guys were having a good time during the conferences because you had studied together at university, right?
Yes. Bruce.
So it doesn't get much better than that. It doesn't get much better than that.
No, not a bad way to spend a Friday night whatsoever. Not even. And the guy with the Apollo missions, everybody, he went back and got all this film footage from the Apollo missions, and I mean, it was unreal what he was able to do, where he put all it together, and I mean, it was so amazing that NASA hired him, right, Bruce? Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it was the video and the audio, particularly the audio recordings, had deteriorated so badly over the years. Nobody had done anything about it. They just gotten used to the idea that this is supposed to be scratchy, black and white, and it's supposed to be like. So he said, well, maybe like that. So he used 2015, 16 technology as a software engineer and a film guy too, by the way, in his basement in Toronto for 6 years. And that's what he did without one payment. His parents and his family thought he was bonkers. And then all the astronauts started to see what he was doing. He started speaking at more and more events until after one of his events he spoke at, he was called aside he said, Ben, would you to the conference room with us afterwards? We'd like to have a word with you. And he's like, oh, do they have Wi-Fi there? I still have to do messages, he said. And so anyways, they took him to the meeting, and there was like this table of people. And they just said, it's time for you to work for us, Ben. And he's like, okay, I can do that.
That's so cool.
So that's Ben's story. I love that one.
You know, where he showed the film footage where he was able to connect it, where it gave you the feeling that you were right there with the astronauts on the moon, didn't it? The way he did it, the way he presented the real raw film footage and put it all together in a nice, smooth flowing way. Oh, did you say 6 years?
Yeah.
6 years? Wow.
Yeah, six years in the basement, suffering some frustration, perhaps a bit of ridicule from some people. And so he comes up with Apollo and in real time. And the beauty of doing stuff like that now is that they could use the satellites, the satellite photography, the orbiter taking pictures. And it's coming at a really nice time, because with the missions, the new missions to the moon and the planned hopeful future missions to Mars. All right.
Okay.
So yeah, we had a little action, so inspiring, and I want to thank my helpers.
Apollo.
You know, the people actually really worked. They organized it. It was Danielle and also Andrea, who co-hosted. You know, those wonderful webinars. So yeah, now we move forward and look forward to many more adventures.
Bruce, I want to hear about your upcoming event. But before, let me just say that again, all your webinars that I was able to attend, which was most of them except maybe one or two. Another one, the guy who decided to make as close as possible the follow-up to the original Star Trek series, right? I mean, there's so many spin-offs, Deep Space Nine and others, but this particular person decided to get as close as possible, everybody, to the original 1960s television series. I mean, using the same kind of film clippage that you would see for that era and everything, and the props. And Bruce, could you tell us a little bit about, because I was totally unaware that had been done. I mean, you were the first person that I heard about that from. So would you tell our audience a little bit about that? I mean, what a cool endeavor to do. And I mean, it does look like the original series. And I'll tell everybody out there, the original Star Trek, I'm old school. That's the one. Next Generation is okay. Deep Space Nine, all these other spinoffs, but give me the original. And then this here project that this person did. Oh yeah. So Bruce, would you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh God. I mean, you know, how do you summarize something like this? It's basically a very professional group of people who were passionate about Star Trek, who understood Star Trek. And Vic Manoia, he's a famous voice actor with anime. And I didn't know that at the time. I just thought he was a enthusiastic, very talented guy. He's like the main voice actor in anime invention. It's lucky I didn't know, because I approached him based on that. Because I didn't refer to all of his fandom. Oh yes, you were the blah blah blah. I didn't know about that, so I found out later that he's pretty big. But anyways, he recreated with his teams the bridge and other sets from the original Star Trek. They're still there in this little town in Georgia, not far from Florida. Visit it, and that's the technical. The writing and acting and the storytelling were impeccable, to the point that many original series stars and writers and art directors and so on, they wanted to get involved. They felt so strongly about it, so they volunteered their time. Even Q, the Q entity, that guy appeared in the show. It's endless. So their endless was to create the season 4, the close for the original series, because abruptly, what wonderful series, or these 11 or 12 episodes was able to do was to provide closure for the characters, closure for the series, and to bring a proper pass the baton properly to the next generation. So it was like, oh God, what a gift! And they did it through volunteer, donations, and so a wonderful thing. I'd love to maybe share my screen, but I don't want to complicate our technology. Just look up Star Trek Continues, everyone who wants to have a treat if they're really interested in Star Trek. It's on YouTube.
You know what I think it is? I think we're receiving the energy from UCR that's trying to interrupt our program. That's what I think. I think we're receiving negative energy from those administrators at UCR that's trying to uh, obstruct our broadcast. That's what I think. Okay, Bruce, you're back. Now you're
Bruce is
froze,
frozen.
Bruce. Yeah. Uh, everybody, let me tell you this though. I don't know what exact date the original Star Trek ended on in 1968. Bruce, please correct me if I'm wrong. I think the original Star Trek went for 3 seasons, but what he's talking about, what this individual did and put together, it's as if instead of the original series ending, it's as if you were to tune in the following week in 1968 and it just continues. That's how well done this was. Hey, Bruce, were you able to hear anything of what I just said?
Partially, but yeah, a little something technical going on. But yeah, about the upcoming trip to the school. It's the
Okay, please,
yeah.
please talk about,
So
yes, please tell us about that.
yeah, for sure. Well, thank you. Um, we were invited to go to a school that's located in the Baruka. Um, no, sorry, not Baruka. That's your territory that you visited. We're going to the Quebecer nation or reserve. I'm not sure exactly how they like to be referred to, but it's a very very remote part of Costa Rica, located near the town of Turrialba, and we're very very pleased to be doing basically a campaign to collect school materials and donations of all kinds to be able to support this community. Share my screen here, the poster. You guys see that? No.
Ah,
Okay. Let's see.
there we go. There
I've
we
got
go.
it as of sharing.
I see it, Bruce. Very
Awesome.
cool.
Yeah. So that's our outreach mission. We'll be doing. Thanks. We're doing workshops with our books, both the Costa Rica and NASA, and the Women in Science and Technology, and the coloring books too. So we've gotten quite a few donations of purchases of the coloring books, both about the women in science and the ones. It's quite like I say, a remote. Unfortunately, fortunately, depending on your way of looking at it, they don't have regular electrical services there. They use some
Wow.
solar power panels. They don't have internet at all whatsoever.
Wow.
So
Wow.
the opportunity to go out there for a couple of days, we're very honored. Pedro is our friend. He's an English teacher who works there, and we met at a conference a couple of. Now that we're going live with workshops, it's sure is a wonderful thing to be able to go out to this community, and we're getting a lot of really nice responses from people helping us, schools, individuals, sending in donations. So if anyone is interested in contributing to this, internationally, we're accepting donations. Small, doesn't matter. $5, $10, $20, anything that can purchase a couple of gallons of alcohol or a few sets of pens and pencils and whatever. Within Costa Rica, you can bring it to our house here in Santa Ana. But we're very, very happy to receive as much as we can to take with us, make it a bit of a party and show our solidarity with this community that it's really, really out there in the mountainous region, beautiful part of Costa Rica. In fact, we're looking forward to seeing that. From what it looks literally like a national park from the Google Maps. It's so we're very excited to learn more about this community and to give them some access to the kind of things that we're doing, because when you're not on the internet, you can't attend our Friday night conferences or any conferences for that matter. So we feel good, Anna and Luisa and I, about being able to get back to our sort of original purpose.
Wow. Oh, wow, Bruce. This community, is it more located to the Pacific side or the Caribbean side of Costa Rica?
It's more central. From Turrialba, it's like if you can sort of find that geographically, it's kind of like in the highland regions, mid highland regions, literally in the central part of the country. And then when you start descending, you head down into the Caribbean. You're approaching more of the Caribbean side, but at this stage, it's more like where the Chilipo, Mount Chilipo is not too far, which is the highest mountain in the country. It's not really next to it, but it's sort of geographically within that region. So I've got a few other photos of school that perhaps I could share those. Last image, just to show a little bit of the beauty of this area and the remoteness, because the road system. Can you see my screen now? It says sure. Let's give it a second, maybe.
That's beautiful. I see
it.
Oh,
there we go. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Bruce, it gives you some surrounding mountains, but the road system is very limited.
Now, Bruce, do these people, do they have their own language like the Baruca and also speak Spanish like the Baruca do?
That's right. The Quebecers, they do have their own culture and everything. I'm not entirely sure how the mixture is between their language and Spanish. That's going to be something we'll find out. We're going to be working with students from the elementary and the high school too. So
wow.
The age range is going to be very, very, very wide. So but yeah, check that out on a Google map. It's a real eye opener, and it's kind of a strange thing in a way that this area, which is remote but not so remote, has no electrical system, permanent system set up by the government. So yeah, we're going to do some fact find and try to maybe bring a few things to the attention of the authorities as much as we can. We know that Costa Rica has been, just like the rest of the world, has been through a lot of struggle over a year and a half. This is something we can do to sort of give their school at least a bit more profile, right?
Right. Wow. I mean, and you said that they use solar energy? That's what they use in their remote location?
Yeah, they have some limited use of solar panels, which I don't know,
Hmm.
like which is inadequate for internet, but it's apparently there's some electrical system in the school itself. We'll be staying either like camping within the
Wow.
school or in tents. Like when we actually stay out there, we're going for like trying to sleep inside the school, because Ana Luisa, my wife, co-author, she's very sensitive to cold, so cool drafts can be bad for her. So we live in Santa Ana and so on. So yeah, we just put us in some school, like put us inside somewhere. The tenting's great, but it may not be the best for Anna, right?
Oh, Bruce, that's so amazing. Oh, I mean, to the most extreme power, kudos to you and Ana Luisa for. I mean, that a remote. That's just oh wow, Bruce. That is just that's so commendable. I mean, everybody around the world listening and viewing, huh? That's that's what I call heroes. Okay, okay, that's what I call heroes. All right, not dunking a basketball or making a touchdown or what have you. That's heroes. Just like teachers are. Do you know what the status of the COVID situation is in the community? Have they been vaccinated? Is that something you got to take into account for your visit?
Yeah, it looks like we're all clear, as far as their own protocols are concerned, and so the teachers and
Yes.
the authorities they've given us the all clear. Anna and I are 100% vaxxed and ready to go. So we'll just obey whatever protocols need to be obeyed, and there's lots of open air there, so I think we should be
Right.
okay.
Right. Right. Do you know if the community have they been vaccinated? Because you remember what happened to us back in September when we were gonna go to the Baduka village. Uh, a bunch of individuals they came down with COVID, and so the whole village was on lockdown, and we couldn't go. But do you know if the actual inhabitants
Yeah.
of the village of the community if they've been vaccinated or not? Do you know that information?
No, I'm not 100% up to date on that. We'll be going straight to the school,
Uh
and
huh.
so it'll be like a very specific place we're going to. We won't, be going anywhere else besides that one spot. So yeah, I'm sure that they will under control. And if there are any changes, yeah, they'll let us know, and if we have to postpone the trip or whatever.
Um, and yeah, and you and both. I know you and Ana Louise are completely vaccinated, so you got yourselves uh, covered. And let me ask you this, Bruce: how long will it take you to get there from Santana to that community?
They told us about 5 to 6 hours from
Okay.
door to door from the center of Santa Ana to the school.
Okay, okay, that's about the same amount of time it took us to go down to Palma Sur, about 5 hours or so. Okay, wow, Bruce, what an endeavor! I mean, my goodness, I mean, um, I so everybody listening and viewing, donations, books, resource materials, anything you think might be useful to these people way in the highlands of Costa Rica, I mean remote, no electricity, solar powered, no you said no internet too, right, Bruce?
That's right.
Okay, everybody, can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? No internet, everybody. But Bruce and his wife, Ana Luisa, hey, they're going old school. They're taking books, resource materials, Okay, so please contact Bruce. When you're going on December the 8th, correct, Bruce?
That's right.
Okay, a week from today. So everybody, you got a week. Hook him up. Hook them up. I mean, what an endeavor, right? These people way in a remote area. And that, you remember I mentioned that. Now see, Bruce, all of his outreach experience and activities, him and Ana Luisa were going to bring that to the program that we wanted to have last year here. Okay, they were going to give workshops on the same materials that you've seen him present, and hopefully we will still get to do that. But yeah, I mean, you can see the magnitude of the benefit that any community is going to derive from Bruce and Ana Luisa visiting them. And Bruce, let me ask you a favor. While you're there, would you ask them if they know anything about the spheres? Okay.
I will. I promise.
Okay, you never know. I mean, they might. Oh yeah, I was
I
told by
promise.
so.
Awesome.
Okay.
Hey, well,
Okay.
I know you guys have to review it over, but I just want to thank you again for having me visit you today. And yeah, good luck again with the University of Costa Rica thing. Let it be successful. And thanks again for supporting our campaign. And I hope next year we'll do lots more interesting stuff together, Leroy.
Oh, let's do it, Bruce. And I don't know if you were able to hear me or not. So I want to now. I had made the statement that this Star Trek series that continued the original series. I made the remark that they did it so well that I don't remember the exact date in 1968 when the original series came to an end. But if you were to have tuned in to this Star Trek Continues, right? That's what it's called, Bruce.
That's right.
If you were to tune into that, it would be just like you'd be back in 1968, and you had tuned in the next week for the next episode of Star Trek, even though it had been canceled. They did it so well. I mean, and so it's about doing the best you can with your dream, with your passion, with what you love in life, and taking it to the extreme. And Bruce, and please convey this to your wife, Ana Luisa. The best of success to the two of you doing what you're doing. And again, y'all are heroes, okay? And hey, looking forward into the future. I'm looking forward to when all of us, you and Ana Luisa, myself and Tirza, we can go to some of these other indigenous communities, right? It's just the Badukas was just a start. And
Yeah.
once again, what is the name of the
Yeah.
the community that you're going to? What, you know how bad I am at pronunciations. What is their name again, Bruce?
Quebecers.
Quebecars. Okay. Well, Bruce, tell the Quebecars hi for me, and maybe I'll get ready. I get to meet them someday. And again, I look forward to hearing about your trip. And they're so lucky to have you and Ana Luisa coming there. And yeah, Bruce, down the road, let's all of us just go around to these communities and talk to them, and learn what they know, tell them what we know, and it'll be an awesome endeavor. Thank you, Bruce, so much for being on the show. I'm sorry we had the technical difficulties we had, but hey, I mean, I think people got the message. Contact Bruce, everybody. Donations, books, resources, anything you think could help, because an endeavor such as his and his wife Ana Luisa's, you just don't get no better than that. Okay, what not only a benefit for the community that they're going to, but for Costa Rica and for our global community as a whole. Again, Bruce, thank you so much. Do you have any finishing remarks before I close it out?
I just like to give you the hive here, if that's okay. Um,
Sure. Oh yeah.
There we go. I think
Yeah.
that about does it.
And I'm still waiting to meet those other characters.
And we'll leave it at that.
Okay, Bruce. Hey, that's a great way to leave it. Okay, Bruce.
Oh man,
everybody,
I get to take you on a tour.
Okay, no, go ahead.
Next year you get the tour.
Okay.
Well, no, just give you a sneak preview.
Squeeze it in, Bruce. Yeah, look at that, everybody. Whoa. There's only a few I recognize. Wow, Bruce. There's Spock. I saw Spock. I did.
Well, that's what this is all about.
Yes, indeed. Oh, wow.
I'll leave it at that. They always say leave the audience wanting more. I was told by a wise person once.
Okay. Well, everybody, if we get lucky enough, Bruce will be able to sometime down the road give us the full tour. Oh, Bruce, thank you, my physics and fun thank you, my physics and fun colleague. So everybody, I hope you enjoyed hearing about. Yep, there we go. You got a couple of dinosaurs hanging around too, don't you? I think, yeah, somewhere. I think you mentioned that. Yeah, maybe we'll get to meet them next
season.
Okay. Well, Bruce, all of our energies are with you and Ana Luisa as you go down to this community, and looking forward to talking with you when you get back. And thank you so much again for gracing this show with your awesome presence. Tell Ana Luisa I said hello. Tirza says hi, and we'll holler at y'all a little bit later when you get back. Probably before then. I'm sure we'll be talking before you actually roll out next. Before you roll out next week, we'll be talking. But okay, so everybody, tune in. Oh, see, he can do the Spock thing. I can never. I have to pull my fingers apart to do it. I can't do it, but that's a good one. That's a good one, Bruce. Hey, live long and prosper, my brother.
Awesome.
All right, everybody.
Peace and long life. Okay, see you, Leroy. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Ray.
And on that note, everybody, we will end and say tune in next week, same fat time, same fat channel. All right.